and grow. Change is part of that divine urge that's in each one of us to express life fully and harm no one. And he noticed that when we look at the changes we resist most, they're the ones that we have labeled bad things. Oh, I don't like that one. But he said we're not nearly as resistant if it's something we like. I could probably handle the change of somebody coming up giving me a dirty old $1 million or $2 million. It would not really bother me all that much. But he said the key to it is, whatever the change is, we are to accept it by welcoming it and embracing it. Now let's move on to the second thing, the nature of life. Life is all around us. Look at it. When you came here today, you drove past trees and plants and flowers. The sky was beautiful. You're here with us. Wow, life is everywhere we were and are. But I question, what do you see as the relationship between life and nature? Going back to Ernest Holmes, he said, the God that is in us is the same God that is universal. There is no wall of separation, no barrier, no place where one begins and the other leaves off. All is one, and one is all. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of nature as life. And I want you, as I talk about these, I want you to think about this question. What is going on here? Is it instinct? Is it intuition? Is it the ability to reason? Is it maybe some sensing ability occurring? Let's go back to our reading about the bees. Now, the 3 bees in the bucket, they were covered with honey. And when they took them out and put them in the little dish, they were still covered with honey. They couldn't fly. How did they summon their sister bees? Did they break out a little Morse code handbook? Send out an SOS? How did those sister bees know to come there? When they got there, how did they diagnose what was wrong? And then how did they find the cure to help those 3 bees go on and live and continue to be part of their gathering, part of their hive? I don't know the answer. You have to figure that out for yourself. But let me give you another example that is a personal one. Where Karen and I live, the back of our property is a creek. And between there and the subdivision behind us, there's a buffer. A lot of trees and everything. It used to be part of a great big family farm. So we have beautiful surrounding peace and trees of nature around us. And we have lots of wildlife that come to our yard. Now, of course, I do some things like putting out Himalayan salt licks to help the deer have something. So I welcome them to our yard, and most of the time I look out and see if there's anything out there before I go out back. But a couple weeks ago, I needed to carry some things to the recycle bin, and I went out and I didn't look. I went out to the side of the house, I walked around, came around the corner, and there's 2 deer standing in my backyard, 2 does. They both froze in place, flared their ears out, looked at me. The first deer just stared at me for a moment. The second deer saw, ooh, a human, wheeled around and started moving the 12 feet towards the creek to go down the bank. Actually got his front hooves down over the bank. That first deer, though, however it did it, recognized me, I guess, because I said, oh, I apologize for upsetting you. I just need to carry some things to the recycle bin. Why can't you talk to deer? I do it. When I said that, that second deer that was fleeing stopped dead in its tracks, turned around, looked at the first deer. The first deer looked over, then went right back to eating the grass. And the second deer turned around, came back. I threw my stuff in the recycle bin, looked around. They were both just eating grass. I went back in the house and watched out the window, and they stayed there for about another 5 or 6 minutes. Now, how did the first deer tell that second one it was safe? He said, it's okay around this guy. He's not going to hurt you. In fact, he's the guy that puts out the salt licks for us. I don't know how they communicated that, because there wasn't a sound made, but I saw it happen. And I went, wow. It lets me know that spirit is present right there in nature every moment of every day. Now, the earth is a living organism. This has been believed by humans for years and years, for millennia. The ancient Egyptians believed it. They taught it to their Greek students who came there to Alexandria to study and then went back home and became the philosophers that we rely on so much. The Greeks kicked up the ante a bit. They gave the earth the name Gaia and said it was a goddess, one of their many gods and goddesses. Our indigenous, or most of our indigenous cultures in North and South America, have a very profound respect for the natural world. They consider all the elements in nature, the earth, the animals, the plants, even humans, that we're all interconnected and that we all have spirits. They often treat the earth as a mother and a central figure in their cultural identity. But look around, most Western cultures, we view all things, living or not, as objects, something to be used, something that needs to have a purpose. The theologian Thomas More said, "The earth is not a platform for human life. It's a living being. We are not on it, but part of it. Its health is our health." Now, I'm going to give you a couple more quotes just because I like them, because I want you to understand that nature is the greatest example of oneness. And that's easy for us to understand. We can look out and we go, oh yeah, I can see spirit is present and expressing as trees and plants and that blade of grass and flowers. But it's when we have to look at that other human being and we go, oh no, I don't like that. I don't like the way they're doing that. I don't like the things they say. We have a hard time expecting or expressing and accepting spirit expressing as somebody we don't like very well. The late Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh is one of my favorites, and he said, "I think God is on earth, inside every living being. What we call the divine is none other than the energy of awakening, of peace, of understanding, and of love, which is to be found not only in every human being, but in every species on earth." And the famous environmentalist David Suzuki said, "The way we see the world shapes the way we treat it. If a mountain is a deity, not just a pile of ore, if a forest is a sacred grove, not just timber, if other species are biological kin, not more resources, and if our planet is our mother, not an opportunity, we treat each other and the earth with greater respect. The challenge is to see the world from a different perspective." And what I want you to hear and take away from this is, we only see the world from a different perspective when we see the world with new eyes. Now let's move into my third topic. How am I doing here? Oh, golly, I'm going to make it on time. Living in the flow. Existing in seamless motion. Have you ever tried to paddle a rowboat or a canoe upstream? I can tell you it's a lot of work, and you don't make much headway. And that stream is trying to turn your boat or your canoe, make you turn around and go downstream. Now, what happens, though, if you allow the boat to just go with the flow and go downstream? It goes along just slicker than can be. If you don't steer it, you're going to run over it sooner or later and bounce off a bank, or you're going to bounce off an obstacle that may be in the stream or the river. But you're going to have to move right down there with little or no effort. You're going to get to enjoy the view. Why is that? Well, the essence of flow is harmony. Harmony in the universe and harmony within ourselves. It's that state of ease or rhythm that is unbroken by discord. It's a fundamental It's a fundamental principle. Woven into the very fabric of the universe and of our lives. It's an endless expression of transforming, creating, and then recreating. Or recreating, whichever you like to say it, because they're both the same thing, believe it or not. So how do we recognize flow? How do we let it happen in our lives? My favorite way is to go back and I look at the Bible in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10. Seven little words. Be still and know that I am God. Now there's three parts of those 7 words to make of that sentence. Be still. Calm down. Just let things go for a moment, because you can't hear the still small voice of the divine. If you're in a hurry and you're bustling around and you've got all kinds of chaos in your daily life, just be still. And know. Now, I'm not talking about head knowing. I'm talking about heart knowing. That feeling of knowing the presence of the divine is within you. And the third part of that sentence is, I am God. Now remember, I am comes from the burning bush, the story of the burning bush, when Moses goes to the burning bush and God says, hey, Moses, I want you to go back over to Egypt and I want you to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And Moses, being Moses, said, huh? Who? Me? Are you talking to me? What am I to tell this guy that who sent me to say, let my people go? And he says, I am that I am. I am is the highest labeled name for God that we can have. So we invite the flow when we get still so that we can hear the still small voice of God. When we hear, not with our ears, we know with our heart, with our feeling, and we know that it is Spirit speaking to us and guiding us. So the key is just slow down, pause, take some time, be still, be awake, be attentive, notice. Just be aware that Spirit is ever present, because Spirit's never hurried. You can't hurry up Spirit, and Spirit's never stagnant and never sits still. It just is. It is the flow of life. Lao Tzu, who gave us the Tao, said life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only causes and creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Now we know that blocking the flow is a form of dis-ease. Now, dis-ease could be disease, as we could have in our body, but what it really means is anytime we lose that sense of being at ease, being at peace in our lives, that's dis-ease. And when you have that, you are losing that sense of life flowing gently and carrying you along. Now, these blockages of flow, they can come from fear, they can come from attachment to the way things were, they can come from some illusion that you have control over things. But they manifest themselves in your life as frustration, as anxiety, sometimes just plain inertia. You're just kind of frozen in place and I just can't do anything. Today is one of those days that you just, I'm here, but I'm not really here. So how do we release these blockages? How do we let flow resume? Well, let's go back and look at our metaphor of the river and the stream again. You know, the stream doesn't sit there, the river doesn't sit there and just go, oh my goodness, I've got an obstacle. It doesn't worry about it. It just, if there's an obstacle, it carves a new path around it. Or it might just come up like you would with a dam and it just kind of gets still and waits until the obstacle's removed. Well, humans do kind of the same thing. We can return to the flow and get around these blockages. We have to cultivate trust. Trust in the universe. And when we say trust in the universe, we're talking about trusting our Creator Spirit. So we have to cultivate trust, and we have to listen attentively to that still, small voice of Spirit as it speaks to us and guides us in our choices, because we're always at choice. I'm going to skip the part about non-desire and non-resistant because I don't want to run too long with you, but I will tell you this. How I personally, when I hit one of these blockages, I know that if I'm concentrating on what the blockage is, it doesn't go anywhere. In fact, it actually gets worse. So what I do is I have 3 questions that I ask myself, and when I ask myself questions, it stirs my creativity, it stirs my curiosity, and it takes my focus away from those blockages back to these questions. And the questions I use are, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow from this experience? What can I find in this experience for which to be grateful? And as long as I am asking those questions, I don't see the blockages anymore. And it helps me get back to the flow because Spirit always provides an answer to those questions. So I'm going to conclude. I'm going to tell you that things don't need to be the way they used to be. They're flowing just fine as they are and as they should. Change is happening all around us, whether we see it, know it, want it, accept it, like it or not. Are you welcoming and embracing change? We're experiencing nature as life as we observe every plant, every flower, every blade of grass, every tree, every animal, and every person. Every person. For we reside with a living entity that we call Earth. Are you seeing it with new eyes? The universe is always unfolding in divine right order, whether we know it, understand it, like it, or not. It's unfolding and flowing exactly as it should. It doesn't need our help. It doesn't need our approval. It just needs our embrace. Are you embracing life and flowing gently with it? Let's celebrate this moment of being grounded by knowing today we are living in the good old days of a grounded life. And so it is. I invite you now, if you feel comfortable doing so, close your outer eyes as we turn within, and I speak a word of affirmative prayer. I know that there is only one life. That life is God, or God's life. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now, your lives, and the lives of every one of us here at the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living, every one of us in the world. For we are all expressions of the divine, whether we realize it or not. And we're always at choice. And I know that as I turn to Spirit, as I get still and know that Spirit releases itself in my consciousness, and I know that the still small voice of Spirit will speak to me through my intuition. It will guide me and instruct me to choose wisely the most life-affirming thoughts, words, and actions for myself and all concerned in every experience, every expression, every now moment. And as I know this is true for me, I know that it is true for each one of us, for I know that Spirit is eternal and Spirit is infinite. There is absolutely nowhere that Spirit is not. I know I've been given the gift of free will, and I am so grateful. And I know that with that free will, I can choose to listen to Spirit, or I can choose not to listen to Spirit. But if I choose not to, I know that I'm not in the flow of life. I'm not seeing nature as life. I'm not dealing well and reacting well with change. So I choose to see Spirit, and I invite each of you to choose with me to see Spirit in your lives, and as the impulse, the action, the expression that you are to be one with the divine. I am grateful that we have this opportunity to choose to listen to Spirit. I'm grateful for the good we do in the world, for good is Spirit expressing. Love is Spirit expressing. Truth is Spirit expressing. They are the substance of the divine, and from that substance, each one of us is created. And so, as we think, speak, and act with love, with truth, and with good, we are the presence of God expressing forth in the world. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for knowing this. I'm grateful that it is true. I'm grateful for the fulfillment of this word. And I release this word into the divine, into the law, knowing that law is perfect. It's good and true, just like this word. And I know that the law is certain and steadfast. And I know that the universe always answers yes. And with great confidence and certainty in the presence of my Creator Spirit, I join with the universe and invite you to join with the universe in me by saying together, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Well, let's see, you make a mess here?
No.
No, not too bad. Perfect. Try to get that out of there without you doing that.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. Embrace change, see with new eyes, and get ourselves in alignment with flow. Sounds easy, yeah? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no problem. I affirm ease and grace for each of us around doing just that. Thank you very much, Tom. It is now time for our conscious giving. This is a time every Sunday when we offer this community support financially. And we do so from a heart full of generosity, full of gratitude, full of love for this community. And so there are 3 different ways that we can do this. You can visit our website at trianglecsl.org. You can give to the phone number 919-629-9148, or you can actually send a check to our PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina 27519. We affirm that today's offering lifts this spiritual community, prospers the one giving, and adds to the energy of sufficiency on the planet. So in this moment, I just invite everyone to take your gift, place it against your heart, or simply to put your hand against your heart with an affirmation for yourself or a loved one or for our community, and we'll do our offering affirmation in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And now please let's welcome the amazing Sandy Hemingway back to his piano.
Thank you, Sandy. You know, I think what a wonderful world this would be is if we would hear more Christmas carols like that on the radio instead of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer and other inspiring songs that I hear a zillion times. All right, well, so as Dusty said, Reverend Tom laid it out. It's easy. But just in case you need some support getting into the flow, we do have a button on our website at trianglecsl.org, and it's on the upper right-hand corner where you can request prayer support. So you just click on that button and you fill in the request form, and we will go to all of us practitioners and ministers, and you will have the whole dream prayer team on your side. Also, if you would like to dedicate flowers to anyone for anything, you can contact Heather at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyripplemeyer@yahoo.com. Okay, now is our time for affirmation. So I invite everybody to stand up so it can come from your diaphragm, so it will have power and meaning and not just be a bunch of mumbly words. It will be a call and response, so I will say it first and then you repeat it with intention. Since spirit is all that there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
Since spirit is all there is, my work is to increase my understanding of and alignment with that infinite presence.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I do so, I connect ever more deeply with spirit and open myself to the flow of its fire.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I allow the fire of spirit to move me, I rise to new levels of joy and love.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As I recognize the ever-present light within me and let it shine, my own light becomes brighter.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As my own light becomes brighter, I light up the lives of others just by being who I am.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and proudly proclaim yes to life.
As I complete this year of a grand rising, I look forward to what's next and proudly proclaim yes to life.
And so it is. All right, you may be seated. You may also close your eyes if you feel so moved as I do a benediction for today's service. Ooh, I like that. I'm feeling that fire of spirit within. And I feel it flowing through me, as me, of me, between me, out of me. And I feel it flowing between all of us. Whoa. That feels good. That feels really, really good. And I affirm and embrace the vision that Reverend Tom has given us about living a life of ease by surrendering to change, by surrendering to the power of spirit, by surrendering to flow. I know that I'm the one who makes things hard because the universe has always got my back, and that fire of spirit is always leading me to a bigger and brighter me. So, and I know that this is not because I'm special. I say this and we are all one, and so this is the truth for all of us. Let it go, let it flow, and be one with that fire of spirit. So, I know that things will unfold from this service, that life will be a little brighter, a little easier, a little more in tune with flow. And that not only lifts me up, lifts our community up, it lifts our entire world up. Because the rising water lifts all boats. So I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this learning. I'm so grateful for this wisdom. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for this fire of spirit that is the truth of me and of everyone on this planet. So once again, with a grateful heart, an invigorated mind, I say yes. And that's really all I need to say, knowing that Spirit takes care of the rest. So I invite you all to say yes with our special words, and so it is. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all so very much. My gratitude goes out to Reverend Tom, to Reverend Betty, to Carol, to Heather, and to Sandy for this wonderful service. And thank you to everyone that is here in the room and that invited us into your homes. Have a really amazing week, and we'll see you all next week. I love you all.
You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings, and with every step you take. Bless the progress that you make. The reason you live is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Oh, the places you will go, and the people you will know.